I'm Jen. I'm from Photojojo. I guess I'm just going to walk you guys through a quick background on Photojojo, what we're all about. The very first, most important thing you should know is that we want to have fun. And we want to make sure that you guys are having fun too. And that while you're doing it, you're taking more photos. It kind of takes an entry-level base knowledge of photography to get excited about it. That's changed a lot over the years, especially with phone photography. So we're in a really lucky space where people are taking more photos, but we want to get them to actually do things beyond just taking the photo and leaving it on their phone. And we do that through content, which is a hugely important part of what Photojojo is, and it's actually how we started with our newsletter. Our store is full of pretty much anything from basic DSLR accessories to Fuji Instax cameras, all with the goal to really just get people to experiment, use tools to do different things with photography. So here's our storefront. We like to keep things really simple and clean. We do all white backgrounds. So we don't do any there's no search or categories or anything. We just want people to really explore and not come into it with anything particular in mind. I think it's important for people to realize that we're not trying to be like B&H, we're not trying to sell cameras at the lowest cost or the highest quantity. We're trying to tell a story. So we write all of our own descriptions. They're fun to read even if you're not interested in the product. They're funny and witty. So yeah, I guess the big question is why do we do all of this? If everybody else is just putting up a stock image and selling cameras, why don't we do that and just sell cameras and walk away? It's because there's a lot of stuff on the internet. There's so much stuff. The thing that keeps people coming back is the community side and the editorial side of what we do, and that comes out in the newsletter and that comes out in the store. But it also comes out in some other kind of weird places. So some of you might know about the weird dinosaur theme that has nothing to do with photography, really. Why? Just because they're fun. I think, we wanted to do something unexpected when you open the package. It's turned into this huge cult dinosaur following that we have, where we'll get photos from fans in these little dioramas that they'll set up with their dinosaurs. So it's prehistoricparty.photojojo.com if anybody wants to check it out. Yeah, I think all of this just kind of creates a larger picture. It keeps people coming back to Photojojo and getting excited about our brand. It all kind of pays off, even though it's not it's harder to measure. It comes around and it's worth doing and spending time on and just having fun with. So that's it. Thanks, guys.
How do you get started? How do you start thinking in the right way?
One of the most important things that I've noticed is just making sure you're working with the right people. We hire really creative, funny people, and they come up with creative, funny things. Anytime you can put numbers on something is good, but I think the main point is, you don't always have to think about that. I think it's okay to do these kind of silly things because that's genuine and that's what keeps people excited about your brand.
India's such a big country. Just the scale of it, that sometimes I think kind of getting that scale right, scaling a sort of a small organization and kind of scaling that culture into making it an organization or a business. And then a community around it.
I think there's ways to scale both the stuff we do with content and the stuff we do with culture. With content, we measure a lot of different things. With tweets, we'll measure what kinds of content is tweeted more or faved more. And we've done studies where we've figured out these are the trends that are causing those posts to spread more, and how can we do more of those things. Mm-hmm. And similar with culture,
We're already hiring people who are fans, so I think that also speaks to culture again. We're keeping people connected and then just keeping engaged, having a weekly call, having these virtual pizza parties or ice cream parties. Everybody will take a photo of their pizza, upload it to the chat room, so we all kind of feel like we're together eating pizza, stuff like that.
So what chat room do you guys use?
Hip chat. So people in customer service are connected with people in the office. So we're all universally using the same tool, which is really helpful.
If you think back to the beginning, what worked really well in building your community and what didn't work?
So I guess what was that first start? Because we can talk a little bit about growing that. But what brought the first 5,000-10,000 people together?
A lot of companies try to aim very broad and be for everyone. We were very specific about the type of person that we cared about, the type of person that we wanted to attract. And I think that really made people feel like we were just talking to them like a person. And that resulted in them telling their friends about this great new site that was really interesting and cool, and they told their friends. And so I think that's what really got us that first
So it was just word of mouth. I
Word of
mean,
mouth. When you talk about culture being around fun, and specifically within a company, how do you kind of balance that with performance?
I think ownership is really important. We have a small team. Everyone runs really on a very autonomous level where they're coming up with the ideas and then they're ultimately responsible for, how that pans out.
Category is inherently very cool and very creative. So creating a community around it comes very natural to it. But what about categories that aren't so cool but
Like toilet paper or something.
how would you kind of build? What would your view be about building a community around something?
I don't know. I just observationally, I see a lot of companies just trying too hard.
Zipcar is like a car sharing service in the States that has like a really fun personality, uses fun copy, uses fun graphics, and has this really friendly vibe, but it's just a car rental company at the base, and it's kind of a boring product.
I think maybe less trying to kind of mimic what other people are doing and being too out there, kind of just staying grounded and doing things that make sense for that brand.
So thanks a lot, Jen.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.